The high cable bicep curl is a single arm or potentially a dual arm biceps curl variation, which is also going to help with mobility in the shoulders and making sure that we can actually slowly learn how to externally rotate the arm while flexing and controlling and contracting the bicep. Now, all we're going to use for this is potentially a dual cable station or even a single cable station. Today in this video, I'm going to cover the single arm variation, and we're going to set the cable height dependent on you. So if you're able to flex your arms fully overhead, chances are that you can actually pull from a fairly high angle, meaning that we can set the cable quite high up top and we can have you in this kind of position quite low down around the cable, and we'd be contracting through here. Now, this is not a position that everybody can achieve comfortably. So if you aren't somebody who can actually get your arm fully overhead without an impingement or without kind of having to crunch through the shoulder, this is usually because we don't actually have enough space in the shoulder to move through this range of motion, which can affect us when things like push-ups and pull-ups and anything we have to go overhead for. What we're going to do for you is actually set the cable slightly lower down and give the body a chance to develop and feel this kind of position. Over time, the muscles will adapt and you'll be able to go much higher. So what we're going to do is set up by the cable, and I'm going to do this as though I was somebody who had a slight overhead limitation with movement, and I'm going to set up in this position here. Now, from this position, I'm going to take the weight off of the stack. So this would be touching down, this would be with me, and I'm now going to commit to having my upper arm stay in line with that cable, and I'm also going to try and work on pushing my shoulder out towards the cable. And from here, I'm going to rotate open. So this is what we call external rotation. My palm is not facing down to the floor, it's facing up towards the ceiling. If you do this correctly, you may even feel a muscle down here called the serratus muscle working pretty hard to stabilize the shoulder. So from here, I work on crunking the shoulder out over, holding that position, keeping the upper arm here, and from there, I'm going to contract and then hold in this short position, maintaining my upper arm in line with the cable. If I did this, that wouldn't be correct. I'm going to hold this position, keeping my upper arm up, and again, using my serratus muscle to maintain my shoulder in this position. From there, I release the cable back to the start, and contracting, I exhale. Now, there's nothing stopping you here from having something to hold on to or potentially doing the other leg. Like, it really doesn't matter. Whatever you find helps you balance the best. And like I said at the start, once you get better at this variation, you can always go a bit closer and actually have the cable station set up a bit higher, which is again going to challenge the shoulder to hold its position in a much higher degree of external rotation, which is going to help with, like I said, things like pull-ups and your overhead presses and generally shoulder mobility. This is the high cable bicep curl.